Welcome to Growth Minded Conversations. We're your hosts, Amy Dieselkamp and Paula Grimes from Growth Minded Talent Solutions, where we talk about the real leadership and hiring decisions behind building a growing business.
Welcome back to Growth Minded Conversations. I'm your host, Amy, and I'm joined again with my business partner, Paula Grimes. How are you doing, Paula?
I'm doing great this morning. How are you, Amy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So I want to talk today about something that I think, one, we're definitely feeling it in the real estate sphere. And I think it's something that every business owner, no matter how big or small your business it is affected by it. And we're experiencing it right now. And that is a shift in our market. So I know you've been in real estate for a long time. I've been in real estate for a number of years. But when I got into real estate, it was 2017, and we were going into the pandemic years where I've always been in real estate during a time of market growth. And right now, the markets in different parts of the country are doing some different things. So I'm starting to experience this for the first time, this fluctuations. I know you've been in real estate for a little bit longer. Tell me what your experience is with market shifts and what that's looked like for you in the past.
Okay. So we're not going to get into the specifics around numbers today. And I just want to talk about numbers in general, right? There are statistics that are readily accessible to us that we can track, that we can look at on a regular basis, that keeps us ahead of the market. We see little shifts happening. And when we track these numbers, it's always, as we see a change happening, it's like, oh, is this a seasonal thing? So for instance, in my market, when 4th of July hits, it is like a huge vacation week in my area. And you'll see all the numbers will just all of a sudden really slow down for 4th of July week. I know this because I've lived through enough 4th of July weeks to see the trend. However, let's say I was new to real estate. I didn't know this trend existed. I got to 4th of July week and I see all the numbers slow down. And I start to ask myself questions, right? Is this a temporary thing? What's going on right now? And my mind might go to, oh, it's 4th of July week. This is interesting. I want to keep an eye on this. If it's a seasonal thing or just a temporary slowdown, maybe because of a holiday, you'll see it pick right back up. So the numbers will readjust themselves. Sometimes the numbers don't readjust themselves, which is a big clue of, oh my gosh, we're in a shift. How big is this shift going to go? And my question for you, Amy, is why is this important?
It's important because this is how we make decisions around our business. If I understand what the numbers have looked like in the past, and I'm looking at numbers as of today, I now have the historical knowledge and ability to reference back to say, do I predict that this is going to be a temporary thing, or do I need to start making changes and making decisions around making adjustments to my business? Do we need to be scaling back expenses? Do I need to be doubling down on lead levers that have gotten me the majority of my business in the past? Do I need to be freezing my hiring, or do I need to be leaning into hiring more salespeople because I need to double or triple or quadruple my sales activities in a day? It's having that foresight early on so that way we can come up with a plan and execute it is really important. But I won't know to do that if I don't have the numbers in front of me.
No, the numbers are our crystal ball.
Yeah.
All these different people, these experts in these different areas who make predictions, they're making predictions off of data. They're making predictions off of numbers. It's no different in our real estate businesses. If we're tracking all the numbers, we can make predictions of what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
This is one of the jobs of the brokerages we belong to, is to keep their agents informed. And so they're looking at the numbers.
Right.
Our real estate boards, that's part of what they do for us, right? They're keeping an eye on the numbers to make predictions for us. So we do have the data coming into us. However, most of the data that we get is delayed. I know on my board, it's 30 days after it's happened.
Yes.
Where if I keep the data going each and every week and I'm looking at it in real time, I can see what's happening and I can make business decisions accordingly. Sometimes I'm just getting a little cautious and I'm keeping an eye on it. Other times I may drastically be cutting expenses, or I may be investing in something and going more all in, right? It's no different than, I'm going to say, the stock market, right? You see certain things happen in the stock market and you make decisions based on what's happening in the stock market. That we do the same thing in real estate businesses, but you can't make those decisions if you're not paying attention to the numbers in real time.
Yeah. And I think that another reason why it's important for you to own your own data and your own numbers is because, especially in real estate, everyone runs their business a little differently. Your numbers might look very different from another realtor in your exact same market, just because you've got a different strategy, you're talking to a different audience, you're lead generating in a different way. And depending on what's going on with the market, it may be more or less effective than someone else's business. So you are the one who understands what your business strategy is the best. And so you know when those numbers are going to affect your business. If you're someone who highly relies on open houses and you start noticing that fewer and fewer people are actually coming to your open house, that might not show up in any other numbers for a while, but you're seeing, hey, I used to have 20 to 30 people come through my open houses. Now I'm lucky if I get 10. I can't keep doing open houses every weekend as my only way to lead generate. And that's a decision you can make way before the market's going to tell you, hey, there's a shift. We don't have as many buyers in the market as we used to.
And if you are on a team, you have so much more data than you realize. Your people are noticing the trends so much than you realize. Part of every team meeting, and this is why I love weekly team meetings as opposed to those teams that do monthly. I love the weekly team meeting because if you are talking about what everyone's seeing as trends in the market, right? And trends are numbers. If everyone's talking about that, you are so ahead of the game. And then you're talking about the strategies that go along with those trends.
Yes.
For example, you have 8 agents on your team. Each agent did 2 deals last month. So each agent has exposure to 2 deals. Your transaction coordinator has exposure to all of those deals.
Yeah.
And your transaction coordinator has discovered that she's had to push closings on half of them because appraisals are coming in late. She's identified a trend in the market that none of the agents have because it happened on one of their deals. And so it seems like a one-off. It's not a one-off when you're doing 18 deals and 9 of them had closings pushed. And she needs the space, or he needs the space to come in and share, hey, we had 18 deals that closed this month and 9 of them
Pushed.
Yeah. Like, we definitely have an issue. Okay, now we're all on the same page. How much better is it when we're walking in with our clients and we're saying, listen, we're short on appraisals right now. Appraisals are getting pushed. We're going to set this closing date, but I want you to be prepared that we may need to push closing. Or the strategy of, we're going to order appraisal earlier than we have in the past because we want to get on that appraisal schedule sooner rather than later. It totally changes the conversation.
Yeah. And the strategy behind it, now we all get to talk through what that strategy looks like and help brainstorm around best practices to accommodate the shift we're seeing. Same with your sales team. If you've got ISAs or agents that are actively lead generating and you're noticing that 50 dials a day that would normally lead to 20 or 30 real estate conversations, and I know those numbers are way off, right? I'm just using that example, but Now 50 dials, if they only lead to 5 conversations, we have to up our expectation and our standard around how many dials we're expecting our sales team to do in a day. Or maybe we need to be bringing on more salespeople because you're not getting any more time in your day, but we need to increase our number of dials. Do we have an automatic dialer? Do we have an automatic a way to pull lists faster? Do we have enough people in our database to call through the amount of people that we need to be calling? So seeing how daily activities compound over time and tell us that we've got to dig in a little deeper and find solutions is really a big part of that number tracking and be creative early on.
Yes. And you want to see those shifts earlier than later. That
Yeah.
will keep you ahead of the game. And really, the numbers are helping us identify where there could be a roadblock or a potential problem. And then Amy just gave a great example of you now have this problem. You know what the problem is. The numbers have told you. But you have 10 different strategies on how you can address that problem. That is part of owning a business. It's like, okay, let's go through those 10 strategies. What is the best strategy for us as a business? And look how great of a business decision we're making because we've clearly identified the problem and we've looked through all the strategies and we've clearly identified the strategy that is going to work best for us. And now we're moving forward and we're not getting caught with our hands down because this started happening 3 months ago and we didn't notice it. And finally, it's blatantly in our face. And now we have to try and figure out what the problem is. And now maybe a strategy we could have used early on won't work anymore. And so we're left with a different strategy that just is not going to be as great as the strategy we could have used.
So take away from today, track your numbers and analyze those numbers. If you're not looking at your data on a regular basis, if you don't have a way to clearly see what has happened in the past and what is now currently happening, you need to figure out a way to get that information in front of you to be reviewed on a regular basis. Monthly at least, preferably weekly though. If you're interested in finding out how tracking can be accomplished and done easily and systematically, go to growthmindedtraining.com because we've got some tools and some ways to help you get that built into your business.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Paula.
All right, growth-minded leaders. That's a wrap on today's episode. We hope this sparked some fresh ideas and fueled your drive to build, lead, and grow with purpose. And if something we shared helped shift your perspective, we'd love for you to leave a review. It helps us reach more business builders just like you. Better yet, share this with someone on your team or in your inner circle who's ready to level up their leadership game. Until next time, keep leading boldly, hiring wisely, and training with intention. You're not just building a business, you're shaping a legacy.